Namaskar, welcome to This Week with Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh. Doctor, welcome, namaste.
Namaskar, namaskar.
So, as I greet you today, we are just 2 days away from the declaration of budget in India, and this year's budget looked different than the other days, the other years in many ways. One of them, it was presented on tablet, and there was no Bahi Khata. But more important, the vision that you saw through the budget. Share your impressions.
Well, I mean, the current budget which was declared or tabled on day before yesterday, actually, not day before, yesterday only, and that budget is very focused towards the growth of the country, and that's why I think it's an excellent budget. Will take the country into self-sufficient, or what do you call it, Atmanirbhar country, because budget is mainly talking about they are putting a lot of money into the infrastructure, healthcare, manufacturing, and so forth. So that way, I think budget is really, really a great budget for growth of the country.
And because you are a physician yourself and have been active with India also through RP and other organizations, so there is substantial provision in this budget on health sector.
Yes.
How do you feel?
Yeah, it is, and I think that is very important because I mean we have over 1 billion people. Our healthcare system, it's came long way because myself is doctor. I'm graduated from India, so I know exactly how was the healthcare system 50 years ago, and now we came long way. And in order to compete with the world, and as well as to keep our people healthy, what government is doing it is excellent work, and they are trying to kind of extend the healthcare all the way to small villages and small area of the country.
And from health to the way concerns of NRIs were also touched upon in this budget. Special reference about making sure that there is no duplicacy of the taxes, etc. Would you like to comment on?
Well, yeah, that the tax, as far as NRI tax is concerned, always there was no double tax, because if suppose if I have business in India, whatever I earn, if I pay tax there, then that tax I can get credited here in my tax return. So that was there. But I'm sure that this time the government has done little more kind of taxation thing, more liberal and more friendly to the NRI investors.
And while we always have heard about the ease of doing the business and attracting foreign direct investment, through this budget, do you think there are some areas which would draw investors from other nations to work with India?
Yes, because this budget is very investor friendly, particularly the foreign direct investment. And I think they opened up a lot of sector, including the airlines and so forth, for the foreign direct investment. And therefore, I think this budget is more NRI or foreign investors very friendly. And hopefully whatever government is saying will be implemented on the ground, because sometimes there is a kind of a distance between what government meant to do and what happens in the bureaucracy.
That is that is so true, and it is a very important point. But on that front, I'll take a segue and come to the current status or situation as is faced in India due to farmers' agitation, and that seems to be continuing. And talk to me about the way this budget addressed the subject of growth for farmers and relief for farmers. And when we talk about ground realities, then in no plan any government ever would be able to have some provisions of the kind of loss which one experiences as a nation due to these kind of agitation. So touch upon these two sides.
Well, I mean, see, the agitation. I mean, government is trying to bring the complete reform in the farm agricultural sector, and so that's why the new laws are very good law to bring the reform. But again, at the same time, government should address the concern of the farmers by making it in the law, not just verbal assurance, because verbal assurance has not much meaning to it, because government changes or industrialists in the ground probably they may not follow what government intend to do that, and therefore I think that's what farmers, I think, main concern is that minimum guarantee should be written in the law, not just assurance, because assurance has not much meaning in long term. And therefore, I think if government does it, that otherwise government's this reform bill is excellent bill, is good for agriculture sector. It will reform the whole agricultural sector, and we will be more competitive in the world stage than what today.
So I must admit that I'm not well conversant with every detail of this bill and its provisions. But as far as I recollect, MSP has never been a part of a legal framework. This has always been a kind of understanding, and now probably they are seeking more assurance from government, which may result into some economic imbalance down the line. But uh, I will I will leave it at that. The way things are at the moment looks like there will be more and more vigorous protests, and it has become sort of an ego battle also. Some of the farmers leaders or those who are representing them, their language also is not conducive for any potential successful negotiation. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, it's hard to give opinion on that from the distance, 10,000 miles distance. But again, in this kind of agitation, usually a lot of emotions are involved. And when the emotions are involved, and sometimes even antisocial elements are get involved in this thing, and therefore all this thing can happen. But we should not take our focus from the real issue, which is agricultural reform should be done. It is excellent idea, and some of the farmers' concerns should be addressed, because again, we should not forget the farming in India is different than farming in the Western world. Our farmers have small farms. They have only one or two crop to cultivate, and if something goes wrong with because of the heavy rain or drought or whatever reason, then their family income will be kind of poor or zero. So that should be protected, and I think there's nothing wrong in helping the kind of less privileged people uh, to get the reform done, and eventually they all will understand, all will realize the benefit of this new law, and they will accept it. Right now, there is a lot of still miscommunication going on. It looks like that from the distance.
Absolutely. And you have rightly said that from a distance, but from a distance, based on whatever we read, I understand about 11 meetings took place, and farmers group didn't budge from their demand of for repealing the bills, or repealing all these three farmer related bills. And if you work in a democracy by persuading, or let us say, I would say, forcing the parliament to change its decisions based on street sort of a demonstration, it may not work for health of democracy in the long run, because in that case, whatever government wants to do, there'll be X group with mobilized people. And so that is another issue which is a cause of concern.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. But again, the solution to that that whatever you are saying is that of course you can keep the new law as it is. You don't need to withdraw the reform laws, but you can always amend the law and include the concern of the farmer as a part of the law. Otherwise, farmer has no kind of resources or recourse to challenge if tomorrow any industrialist does some injustice to farmers.
So again, understanding that this is not my role, but that is what government is asking them, that share your concern, and they have tried to tell them that these concerns are addressed. But I hear you, and there are other forces also which have become a part of it. We saw what we saw on 26th January also.
Correct.
Yeah. Now moving forward in terms of Indo-US relationship, especially from the economic point of view under Biden administration, and with what you read through this budget, are you hopeful? You have some concerns? What is your take?
Well, I'm cautiously optimistic because the way the Biden administration or history of any democratic administration usually there is a lot of challenges because Democratic Party is made up of uh, conservative Democrat, moderate Democrat, and far left Democrat. And depending upon which group is more dominating, sometimes it can create a problem for a country like ours, India. Because in India, we have not only a homogeneous society, it is not a kind of a homogeneous religion. We have so many things, different, diverse religion, diverse culture, diverse um, background. So there, sometime outside India, they may perceive kind of little differently, and it could be they may perceive negatively, just like what New York Times and Washington Post and those people are writing against our current government. Even though current you and me, we all agree that what government has done so far with the Kashmir issue or with the uh, CA issue or citizen issue, government is right, and still the perception in the Western world is different. So that can create a problem with the democratic administration.
So now that brings the role of Indian Americans, including leadership from someone like Padma Shri, Dr. Sudhir Parikh, as you were instrumental in building of Indian caucus. I think there are some proactive measures needed on the part of Indian American community to set the narrative right.
Absolutely, you are absolutely correct. And let me tell you, right within first, even before inauguration, um, uh, some congressmen were writing against the government on the subject of the farmer agitation, including my New Jersey senator and a couple of New Jersey congressmen. And I already started active lobbying and trying to convince them and connect them to even our consulate to explain to them what is the true government's position is, and to educate them so they should not perceive otherwise, differently.
Absolutely.
So,
And as we move towards the concluding part of our conversation, I want you to share how important it is for Parikh Worldwide Media, ITV Gold, to have formed tie-up with Prasara Bharati, and now DD would be made available to people away from India through us, and that is also going to play important role in increasing awareness about Indian culture, and also your thoughts and your feelings about this new development.
Yes, I'm really very happy, very satisfied to see our tie-up with the Prasar Bharati, Doordarshan India, and by doing that, we will have exclusive kind of right to broadcast all the programs of the Doordarshan from the India. Indirectly, we will be broadcasting all the uh, information kind of given by our government of India, their policy, their our Indian culture, Indian heritage, and the most important part, as far as I'm concerned personally, that this is a way I can connect my second generation Indian American to India, because the television or digital television has very powerful bonding effect. And right now, our second generation, young generation Indian American has not much information regarding the glory of India, progress of India, leadership of India. But having this Doordarshan programming, I will be able to convey this thing to my second generation, as well as other South Asian Americans, as well as Caribbeans, uh, and so forth. So this is it's a very long-lasting, very long-lasting and very important vision we are going to carry out. And I thank you for thank you for this agreement to our Prime Minister Narendra Bhai Modi, our Home Minister Shri Amit Shah, as well as Chairman, CEO of the Prasar Bharati. Uh, we really thank, and we promise you that we'll do our best to make India look best in the world and make the India a world leader in next century.
So thank you very much. With that feeling of love for Bharat, many of our viewers would resonate with you. And as we conclude your parting remarks from today's session.
Yes, dear friends, it's really a privilege and honor to be a partnership with the Doordarshan India, Prasar Bharati, and indirectly uh, propagating and publishing and conveying messages from the government of India, from the India, culture of the India, and bonding the second generation of Indian American as well as American to the India, and give the and set the right narrative for India. So I'm very happy, very privileged, and I will do my best to make it happen successfully. So God bless America, God bless India, and God bless Indian Americans. Thank you. Goodbye till next week.